Welcome into the Sports Objective as we have 50 Pirates in 50 days. And with me, Bubba Rosenbaum. How are you, sir? We'll see if we can get Bubba in just a second. Very happy to have our next guest. And actually, when we're doing our 50 Pirates in 50 days, we're learning more and more about former players. Right now with us is Phoenix Evans. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Dave?
Great to have you on. We were just talking about football and life, and I know that you're chomping at the bit. I'm hoping that we can definitely get things going and some, I guess, guys practicing and hearing the popping of those pads, right?
Exactly. I'm ready to see some myself, some type of sport anyway.
Yeah. How are things with you as far as I know that you were telling me you're out of coaching and now you're back into coaching. I know you have to be chomping at the bit. This is a big part of your life and your culture. A lot of us is sports. So how are you handling COVID-19, and how are you handling the chance that we might not play sports? I'm hoping that's not the case, but everything's strange right now, man.
Exactly. I mean, I am chopping at the bit to get back out there. Like I said, unfortunately, I had the opportunity to coach CMF's middle school football team, the head football coach. Right now, is our biggest concern is safety for the athletes, safety for the students. So right now, COVID, you see the numbers are spiking, and you see in college, in the college world, I think I just saw UNC had 37 players tested positive. So they cut off. I think they stopped all training. So unfortunately, we want to play, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure our students is safe as well. So hopefully, I'm chopping at the bit too, because I'm ready to get out there. I'm supposed to learn something this week, and reference to we can start. I mean, I can start training my players. So at the end of the day, I'm excited, but at the end of the day, we got to be concerned about what's going on with COVID.
Yeah, like you're saying, Phoenix, you have the perspective of a former Division I athlete, now a coach, like you're saying, and then also an athletics administrator. So you've already touched on it a little bit, but just talk about and just exactly what do you think is going to happen, and kind of the different perspective you have from having worn each of those hats.
Okay. What I think is they're going to make sure our student athletes are safe. Before we do put them on the field. I mean, I think that's the biggest concern. And if we can have a football season, it's going to be constant testing, making sure hand sanitizer in place, making sure showers are available. So there's going to be a lot going on. But again, just being a head coach, it can be very difficult of what's going on right now to the college world. They can't train. They don't know when they can train. They got to train in segments, or they got to train in individually. So it's a lot going on. You can't get no team morale because you're having to train at different times, or people got to train individually. So again, season starts with August the 29th for college. So it's about a month and a half out. So I can see where college coaches is chopping at the bit, and also their mind is everywhere. And being an athletic administration, you want to make sure the coaches is safe and the student athletes is safe, because that's our main goal, our main objective.
And Phoenix, as far as the when you're being in middle school now, can you talk about the process? I guess you have a little bit of flexibility, don't you? Because as far as tryouts and such, because is that something that you would work at beginning of August 1 as a potential starting date? Is the same thing for you at the middle school level that it is for the high school level?
Well, high school likes to start in the summer. Actually, they're pre-workouts. As a middle school, you want to try a little training before August 1st. But at the end of the day, yeah, we do start around August 1st. Hopefully that does happen. But yeah, I do have a little leeway. But again, I'm chopping at the bit trying to hear something this week in regards to when we can start training. Like I said, I know we can't all get out and have together, but as long as I can get my core group, my quarterbacks, my running backs, we can do something. Throw the ball to my receivers. That before August 1st, that gives them some team morale. That gives them some confidence of who they're working with.
Phoenix, before we move on and talk about your path to East Carolina back there in the late 90s, you brought up an excellent point as far as these off-season workouts and the role they play as far as team morale and chemistry. and just building that, building the bond, and obviously the strength, the speed, all those sorts of things. That's a given. But just talk about that from a former Division I athlete's perspective, because if you haven't played, you haven't coached, you don't understand how important that is.
Exactly. I mean, chemistry and team morale is a big thing. Actually, you start in the winter. You start in the winter time building that team morale and that chemistry as a Division I athlete. Again, you never stop training when you're playing football as a Division I athlete. So technically, you're building that morale and chemistry starting in December, and you're working your way all the way up through spring ball and then summer workouts. So at this time right now, it's been guys not being together. I mean, it's going to be very difficult if the season does start where the chemistry is going to lie at. Again, you're gonna probably see more fumbles, more turnovers due to the season starting, because at the end of the day, the team morale and chemistry is not there. But again, like I said, coaches are probably working on the boards or talking to their players, or probably having the players work out individually. So again, that is going to be a difficult task to have chemistry starting the season.
And Phoenix, as far as being in Epps Middle School, you're right there, the shadows of Dowdy Ficklin, where you played, and with East Carolina right there. You're right in the, you're surrounded pretty much around ECU. Do you have guys that have, I would think that there were local guys that have tons of talent. You're a feeder school for Rose, right? For Epps?
That's correct.
So Rose has a tremendous time there. I know you said you coached at Rose, and what a great program Rose has had over the years. And right there, Rose is not that far away from, obviously still in Greenville, not too far away from Dowdy Ficklin as well. Are there guys that are you hearing guys that even at your at level with middle school that want to stay and play for the Pirates?
Again, not growing up being a Pirate. Definitely, I haven't heard my guys say they want to be a Pirate,
Okay.
But individually, their main objective is, as playing football, you want to play in the college. So technically, me being a Pirate, I make an influence them, saying, I had great time, being a Pirate. So therefore, that may change their objective. They might say, well, Mr. Evans, my Coach Evans, been a Pirate. I want to be a Pirate. So me giving back to the community, you never know where my players may go end up there. But I hope they do be Pirates. I hope the best guys we have in the county decides to stay home.
No doubt about it. In fact, you always have to think that there are guys being a coach. And Bubba and I have coached, and Bubba's still coaching, but you want the best place, the best fit for your players. So hopefully that would be the best fit for that. But if not, you obviously want them to continue their education and definitely go to where they may get the most playing time, or certainly be the best fit for them.
Exactly.
Now, Phoenix, being an Eastern North Carolina kid, I'm pretty sure you were out of Kinston. So take us back there to the mid to late 90s. I know your time at East Carolina was 98 to 02. So Steve Logan and staff, they really had it rolling, pretty much averaging 8 wins per season there in the mid 90s. So, wins over the likes of Miami, South Carolina, West Virginia. And talk about your perspective of the Pirates program, and just tell us, I guess, the Cliff Notes version of your recruitment.
Actually, East Carolina was I want to say East Carolina, and not to harp on saying anybody else, but East Carolina and South Carolina was one of my first letters I received in high school at 10th grade. And as time went on, as I began to continue to get recruited, East Carolina stuck with me. There was family atmosphere, so that's why I decided to choose East Carolina over other schools. But with the recruitment process, I was recruited worldwide by everybody. But like I say, East Carolina, showed me love. I went on recruiting visits. The players there at the time, embraced me. And then that day I was there, I was like, I want to be a Pirate. So the likings of the Hart twins, which weren't playing when I got there, but me meeting them. Their energy that they brought is like, man, I need to be around this atmosphere. So again, growing up in Kinston, I just made a name for myself on the football field. If you weren't playing sports, you was into something else. But I was actually playing sports, training, working out by myself sometimes. And again, it got me to where I'm at today. Again, like I said, I love East Carolina. The wins, like you said, the Miamis, the South Carolinas, the West Virginias. I remember playing West Virginia. Actually, that was my first game I played in at the Carolina Panther Stadium, and the quote was they had what they quoted was in the beginning of the year 2 cupcake wins. It was us and somebody else. So Coach Connors, he put that out there, like, we worked hard throughout the summer. He's like, well, I believe in y'all. He's like, West Virginia said y'all a cupcake win. So after we won at the Panther Stadium, Coach Connors had a shirt up saying, I thought we were cupcakes. So I mean, brought and at that time it was like, we play anybody, come want some, come get some. That was our motto. So again, playing Miami, when we went down there and played South Carolina, again, that morale we had a whole week, what we was going through with the hurricane, we couldn't come back home. That whole week we was in the hotel. We just built that morale, and we played that game even though we was down 20-3. I mean, you can just imagine that locker room winning at halftime, and we hear them fans out there. I mean, we still believe that we could win, and we came out. We just stayed together, and it brought magic, and we ended up winning. So,
Phoenix, I was going to ask you about that. That was a nice segue. I was going to ask you about that game, with that Miami game. That was for those that were in Eastern North Carolina. I being one of them and being a Pirate fan, it was devastating. I lived in Greenville at the time. I couldn't get back to where I lived. I knew I was okay. It took me 2 weeks before I could even get back to my home. I had to stay where I am living now at my parents' house until I could get back there. And just to have something like that, you guys, I guess, I know y'all were going through your own personal things as a team, teammates losing everything they had at the apartments, like at Tar River, different places near the river and everything. I mean, it was unbelievable. But those of us that we had still everything, but yet we couldn't work. There was a lot of stuff. The fact that we had Pirate football, at least we had that.
Oh yeah, that again. I was excited that they even played the game. They still said we can play the game, even though we had to play at NC State. We couldn't play in our home stand, but our fans came and rocked. Like, I mean, I'm saying, I played at South Carolina. I know they were loud, but the game before, but again, that crowd was so loud in Raleigh. I mean, it gave us goosebumps. Again, like I said, with that morale we had, you can imagine we couldn't go home as well. We only packed 1 pair of underwear, so we hand washing underwear. So it's crazy that week in that hotel. Again, I want to thank the Carolina Panther organization for allowing us to work out in their facility. You know what I'm saying, just to even be prepared for the Miami game. But it was an experience that we'll never forget.
That very fact, I affectionately call that game the Floyd Bowl, because it had, to me, I know Bubba is probably tired of hearing me saying it, but to me, it had a bowl-like atmosphere. That I mean, if anybody thinks that's the example of a game I can use for Pirate Nation, if you don't think we have the best fans, look at that game. If you were at that game, you know what I'm talking about. It was so loud that night. I'll never forget it. And the fact that not only that we played the game, but the fact that we came back, just everything, it was almost like I know it's corny or cheesy to say, it was almost like a movie, like a script. Down 20 to come back, and with Keith Stokes, it's like a huge play, 27-23. We win when they had a lot of, not that you guys didn't have talent, but they had a lot of NFL talent on that team, like for being the University of Miami.
They did, and as I look back, I started, naming the guys that went to the league off that team. I was like, Bubba Franks, Santana Moss, names like that. I'm like,
Jeremy Shockey,
yeah. I'm saying again, it was just we was at the right team at the right time to beat that team. So again, at any given day, like I said, any given day you can be beat. So again, that was our motto.
Phoenix, you talked about the start to that 99 season, running for 300-plus yards against West Virginia and Charlotte. Your offensive line coach, Steve Shankweiler, Coach Shank, was coming back to Greenville for, I guess, the second time, the third different head coach, because he had been on Art Baker and Bill Lewis' staff. And obviously, after Coach Logan, he was on Skip Holt's staff, and now he's on Mike Houston's staff, the fifth head coach. Just crazy that he's worked with so many head coaches at one institution. But talk about Coach Shank. Give us a glimpse behind the scenes and the type of offensive line coach he is.
Coach Shank is a Pirate through and through. I mean, I got to give it to you. Coach Shank is a Pirate through and through. He's been here many years, but Coach Shank is a coach that I tell you, technique, physical. If you're not going to do that, you're not going to play. So at the end of the day, he's going to hold you accountable for what you do to be on that football field. So again, I love Coach Shank. You know, he definitely taught me. He definitely made me a man. But at the end of the day, he would give it to you raw. He didn't care. I mean, he cared about you. But I'm just saying that his time and effort of coaching that he put into you, he wanted to make sure he puts the right product on the football field for us to win, and that's what he did throughout my years there.
In fact, Phoenix, he's the type of guy that is. I know he's tough, but at the same time, he makes you. I mean, I know it sounds corny, but he makes you a man because he's putting you through all that stuff. But then you guys will run through a brick wall for him because you know that what he's telling you is legit and that he's trying. I guess it's a mindset. I look at Coach Shank as he may be tough on you, but he's trying to make you better. He's not just barking at you just to bark at you.
Not at all. When he barks at you, that means he's getting on you to make sure you're doing it right. I tell you one thing. We have tests Friday nights before games. We got to bring that test down to the lobby before that morning because we're going to go through a walkthrough that morning. He'll check that test, and if you messed up putting an assignment where you're supposed to block, or you're gonna get chopped there, or you might play or you might not play. He's gonna be like, well, we've been through this all week. I gave you the test on Friday. You're gonna tell me you don't know what assignment to block. So again, that's just Coach Shank. I mean, he's gonna make sure we prepared before we go to battle.
Yeah, Phoenix in recent years, the Pirates we've really struggled to run the football, and that's something we're trying to get back to now. It's just going to take some time to build the depth there and get it to where we need to get it. You saw some progress as the season went on last year, but just talk about that. Because you played with some tremendous offensive linemen, guys like Sherwin Lacewell, Brian Remp, Doug White, to name a few. So just talk about that and just your perspective, because I know you still follow the program very closely.
Yeah, I think it is going to take some time. Hopefully within this year, next year, we do have some depth behind. I feel like we're young. We might be getting some guys from JUCOs to bring in some experience. And again, some size as well. I mean, me looking at the linemen, we're not as big as we were when I was coming through. I mean, I see, not saying big, but I don't athletic as well. So not knocking the guys that's there. I just feel like, Coach Shank, when they get around Coach Shank and they start doing what Coach Shank asks them to do, we should start seeing some productivity of running the ball. I saw where our passing yardage or our pass protection has been a whole lot better. But in order to, to win games, you got to be able to do both, run the ball and be able to pass. So again, getting around Coach Shank for another year or so, and we build in depth, I think we should be fine. I mean, I see the skill guys that we have. As long as we get our linemen, I'm talking about offensive linemen and defensive linemen being beefed up, we should be fine within the next couple of years.
Yeah,
And that's what I think.
Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to add to that the very fact that Phoenix, I think, I'm a guy that's Bubba is too, that we're guys that are half a glass half full. I believe there's a lot of talent on that team. And if the players will just buy into the system, obviously I know it takes work. I'm not just trying to say something that happens, a change happens overnight. We know it takes time, but I really believe that there's a lot more talent on the team. And it's just a matter of time now for people to learn the system. And we got the question, for me, I think the question mark comes down to how well will the defense be able to adjust to a new system under a new defensive coordinator. I know the offensive defensive line, the depth of defensive line, I think, is probably the biggest concern. But I think the offensive side of the ball is looking really stout.
Again, as the season went on last year, I saw change. I saw growth. Again, like I said, again with this COVID, it's going to, with being chemistry and having team morale, that's difficult for offensive coordinators, offensive coach, offensive linemen, because you want to be able to get them guys out there constantly repping. And unfortunately, we unable to do that due to COVID-19. So again, yeah, I also saw growth last year, and I think there's a lot of great guys on that offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, what I was going to chime with chime in with a moment ago is just elaborating on what you were saying. I heard a recent interview here in the last few weeks with Coach Shank on Pirate Radio, and he was saying exactly that as far as the pass protection, how much it improved over the course of last season. We were actually throwing the ball more. I think the first part of the year we were like 55-45 run, and then we went 55-45 pass or something like that, maybe even more, closer to 60-40. So when that was the case, and we did a tremendous job of protecting Holton, and that was really encouraging considering the run game wasn't where it needed to be.
Exactly. Again, like I said, we got that two-headed monster running and throwing. We should be difficult. It'd be hard for us to be beat. Again, you got the guys lined up in the box, 8-9 guys in the box stopping the run. We just got to pass. We're one-dimensional. So again, I know Coach Shank will get it rolling. I think we got some great running backs, some depth in running back as well. So I think he'll get it rolling. And once he get it rolling, then it's we got that two-headed monster running and passing. Where East Carolina Pirates will be difficult to beat this year.
As far as with Coach Houston, and you're right there, you're an Eastern North Carolina guy through and through like me. How do you feel about Coach Houston? And I know how we obviously know how you feel about Coach Shank, but how do you feel about Coach Houston and the rest of the staff?
I feel great about Coach Houston. Actually, when I saw Coach Houston at James Madison, when we was pursuing him, I thought it would have been. I'm glad he took the job. I said it was a great hire. Just what he did with JMU and other colleges he'd been to, and actually came in here and beat us, which I was hurt by it. But again, he had a great team on the field. But I feel like he's a great hire. I feel like if the players buy into his system, he should be successful here as well as he was at JMU. But I look forward to this next year, if we do have a year, and the next year after that of his players and how they adapt. But I feel like we can win. As successful he was at JMU, we can be successful at ECU with Coach Houston as well.
Phoenix, the promotional graphic you sent me to use for this show is one of you kind of paving the way for Leonard Henry. What a tremendous year he had back in 2001, running for more than 1,400 yards. So just talk about some of the running backs you had the opportunity to block for, whether it's Leonard Henry, Jamie Wilson, Art Brown, Marvin Towns, etc.
Yeah, I actually the guys you just named, I blocked for all of them. Jamie Wilson was first, and then Leonard Henry, then Art Brown, and Marvin Towns together. So Jamie Wilson was flashy, hard-nosed guy. Leonard, as we call him, Skinner. He was a hard-nosed, run you over, dedication to the game. Great guy. He had it. Like that 2001 year, he was dedicated. He worked hard. So I was glad he had the year he had, because he put in the work to have that year. Art Brown, after Leonard left, Art Brown was actually, you would know Art Brown, his when the scouts came, I think he was a sophomore, and Leonard was running for the scouts. Art Brown ran a 4.3, and they asked him again, like when they clocked him, he ran a 4.3. They said run it again. Clocked him again and ran a 4.3. And unfortunately, he had an ACL tear. But I thought Art Brown was a great running back. Again, if you recall, I feel like we got a game stole away from us down there in Chapel Hill when he ran the kickoff return back with the last few seconds remaining. They say he stepped out at the one. Again, looking at film, I saw him put the ball over the pylon. So, yeah. Art Brown was a talent, great talent, and then Marvin Towns. Marvin Towns might have been the fastest running back that we blocked for. Again, he could have been something special. He was special as well. He hard nosed. I think he had so much. Again, not knocking him, but he worked hard. But he had so much muscle on him where he always cramped up. He always had cramps. He had problems with cramping up. He'll play the first half and then cramp up the second half. So again, he still. If you look at him now, he still feel like he can run the ball right now. But playing with them guys, blocking for them guys, I loved it. And they loved us too. So, them guys that you name, I go to war with them any day.
Yeah, Phoenix, as far as you always hear, which was rightfully so, the nickname one of the ESPN commentators called ECU wide receiver U. I think you could also make a case that we could be running back you, because we've had a lot of great running backs. A lot of guys, like you mentioned, their names is like, wow, wow. Like in the running back room, we've had and we're once again with Coach Houston, we're really deep at running back.
Oh yeah, that's what I saw on the depth chart again. The running backs for this upcoming year. Again, it started for me in when I was still in high school in '97. Well, actually, I was being recruited by South Carolina. I actually went to the game where Scott Harley, that monsoon rain game, Scott Harley almost rushed for 300 yards. And then the next game I seen Scott Harley run against NC State for about 350. So I like, man, I'm coming to East Carolina. Like, you guys like to run the ball. So I mean, yeah. So it started for me with Scott Harley, even though I didn't get the chance to play with him. I was able to witness him on the field, from the stands and also on the television.
Yeah, we love
Yeah.
Scott. He's been on the show, and a fan. We're fans of him, and certainly stayed in Greenville. We think a lot of Scott, and we'll have to get him back on soon. But he was somebody. That '96 team was the first year I covered the Pirates out of college in broadcasting, and I still go back and say one of the best teams we ever had. To go 8-3, there were not as many bowls, but that was really a sad situation that you win 8 games and you can't be in a bowl. I mean, it was unbelievable that year. I'll never forget that.
Exactly.
Yeah, like you were saying, as far as Scott Harley, you had his style and then just the type of back he was, and you factor in those conditions like we had down at South Carolina that night in the rain, and then the same thing against NC State. It certainly played to his advantage, and a lot of, I remember some family and friends, we just called him a mutter.
Oh yeah. It was great times and a great night, and actually a great game, both games for Scott Harley. He definitely put his name on the map with those 2 games.
At your time at East Carolina, obviously that was the very end of Coach Logan. Can you talk about Coach? I love Coach Logan, and that was the time Bill Lewis, and then certainly Logan was the coach when I was there at East Carolina. So can you talk about Coach Logan and what he was like to play for him?
Oh yeah, Coach Logan. He was actually a no nonsense guy. Basically, he didn't play with you. He didn't sugarcoat it. His motto was about winning. He wanted to every day we practicing. He wanted us to win. Every game we was in, he wanted us to win. So if we had to win on the last play, or he wanted us to win. If we had opportunity to win on the last play, he was going. If it was 4th and 1. And we on the 50-yard line, he going for it. So he want us to win.
Okay.
That was his motto. And again, what can you say about a coach? As we know winning is not everything, but at the end of the day, it makes you a man. I mean, winning is not everything, but winning is, the more you win, the more you feel like you're successful, the more you feel like you succeed. So again, great coach. Again, he played no nonsense. I remember, what I'm saying, a time of my life when I had to go to his office, I was nervous because I knew I had already, did some things that I was supposed to do with my academics. And he just broke it down to me and say, Phoenix, do you want to end up back in the projects, or do you want to do something with your life? And that was one thing. When he said that, it kind of, gave me a kind of click, like, okay, I ain't trying to go back to the project, so I'm gonna do what I need to do. And again, like that I want to say that following semester, I made all A's and B's. So again, he just gave it to you real, and he was, like I say, he was a winning coach, and he was he was a no nonsense guy.
Let's talk about as far as that. I'm sorry, but I was just going to add something to that. Can you talk about I always talk about how much I admire you guys, the athletes, the student athletes, no matter what the sport, the rigorous part of, you have all the training, you have all the workouts, all the stuff that you personally have to do, and not to mention the academic piece. How hard is it to be able to do all the requirements you have for playing the sport that you love, but then there's also the student element of it as well?
It's very hard. I mean, to tell you, you got to basically have a mindset where you're going to make sure you do everything correctly. Again, going to classes and then going straight to practice. We used to, see it, regular students, they just go to class and go to their dorm room and lay in the air conditioning.
That's me. You're calling on me now.
And no knocking, but we used to, again, some students couldn't see. I wouldn't say it was favoritism, but some students couldn't see why we got our books, why our books was already bagged for us. Go to the student store, our books already bagged for us for the semester. Again, we didn't have time, to go look for pick our books out. So they already have somebody to have our books waiting for us. But regular students couldn't see that. They used to have, well, y'all get to go up there and get y'all books first. It's like, and then, we kind of come out and say, well, y'all not getting up 5 o'clock in the morning. Y'all not going, y'all not going after classes. Y'all not going to practice. Y'all not lifting weights, Monday through Friday. So again, the objective is, in order to play football, you got to make sure your academics is straight. So again, we had tutoring if we needed tutoring. We had study hall if we needed study hall. So they put us in the right frame of being successful. I mean, guys and players who mess it up is just basically they don't go to class or they don't do the work. So at the end of the day, in order to play, you have to have the academics to play. So again, they put us in the right frame of being successful. And also they have coaches checking out if we go into classes and they check our grades. So again, they're gonna know if you're failing or you're not doing well. So again, you just might as well just go and do right when you're supposed to.
I know Coach Logan really took a lot of pride in just not allowing one loss to turn into 2 losses. And we very rarely lost back-to-back games during a lot of Coach Logan's tenure. So talk about what it was like behind the scenes and his approach to that.
After a loss, I mean, I hate to say you call it, again, they do get on you after a loss. I ain't gonna say it. You call it hell week, basically. I mean, we don't want to lose back to back, but at the end of the day, after a loss is more intense. It's intensified. Like, we just lost a game. I want to say we lost to, I can't recall, but we lost to a team, and then we came back and beat Tulane 48-0, 48-6 or something. But it was just basically what we went through, what we was put through that week. We made sure we was not going to lose that next game. So again, that was his. Again, like I said, Coach Logan was about winning, and losing was upsetting. I mean, and again, losing was upsetting to us as well. As much as we prepare, as much as we train, much as we practice, much as we rep it, we always want to go out there to succeed. I know we can't win every game, but that's our motto is to win every game. So after a loss, you want to be more intensified. You want to be more upbeat and excited, to get back on the field the next week, so they can see what Pirates can do.
No question, Phoenix. We were with the upcoming schedule. I wanted to talk to you about COVID-19. Get your thoughts about. I know the safety of the kids we were talking about earlier in the interview with you. As far as college players and with UNC and all the different things we're hearing about it, do you think are there precautions that we can use, like with some kind of shield for the face mask or different things we can use so that we could play maybe a partial season or maybe a full season where we're not where we're keeping the safety of the student athlete first?
I don't. Again, wearing that shield, you have to be experienced with wearing that shield. I tried it 1 year with the face shield, and I couldn't breathe. And I went with them practice. They had to take that shield off real fast. So if you've been playing with it, you'll have an experience of playing with it. But guys is not used to it. Like I said, it had difficult of me breathing. Anything over your face, I want to say with that 98, 100-degree weather that you're playing in, it's going to be difficult to breathe. So that's a safety concern as well. But I wouldn't mind us having us playing schools, near us. As Big Ten is saying, they paying just conference only. If we could travel less, I scared. I don't know if we can change it now, but if we can travel less due to COVID, with schools around UNC, State, we're playing our local schools. I think that would, keep us safe from COVID. Not saying, 100% safe, but with less travel, throughout the season.
Phoenix, so you wrapped up your Pirate career in 2002. So just bring Pirate Nation up to speed. We've already talked about you've coached and administrated, and just give us the Cliff Notes version. Just where you've coached, where you've been an administrator, and what you're up to now.
Okay. Yes. Where I coached at Rose, I coached at Kinston High, coached at Welcome Middle. I'm actually about to be the head coach for CMS Middle School. Again, I've coached about 13, 14 years of high school football. So I actually love the sport. Me being an administrator, I was actually a assistant AD at Stratford University, and also interim AD at Stratford University. So we had about 4 sports there: men's, women's basketball, softball, and baseball. So I actually started that program up. Unfortunately, as the school shut down, so unfortunately that program is no longer. But I started that program up with another co-worker, and we was 2 years. Actually, we had a great 2 years. Basketball team went to the tournament.
Wow.
Went to the tournament. We lost. Right, I'll say in the semifinal game, but we had player of the year on baseball. 3, 4 All-Americans on softball. So program I did put together was successful. Again, right now I'm in the mental health field, doing working with kids due to their behavioral and mental health. That's a big thing going on right now, definitely due to COVID. So trying to keep them on straight, and again, hopefully going into teaching this fall. Hopefully we can start in August. If not, whenever we can start, we have to probably do telehealth in reference to or virtual teaching until the governor says we can go back to start opening schools. So again, I look forward to what I'm getting into. Like I said, I'm always around sports. Always been around sports since I was 5, 6 years old. So again, that's my life. That's what I've been doing, most of my life.
And certainly coaching plays a big role. What's amazing to me is talking to former players. So many great Pirates. It makes you proud being a fellow Pirate to see yourself that's making a huge difference in these kids' lives. When that's the thing that worries me about, if you want me to be honest, my children, I have 2 children in 2nd and 1st grade coming up. I'm worried about them as far as that's one of their outlets. We live in a small town. That's one of the things that they have socially with kids, fellow kids their ages, be able to play sports. And I'm just worried about kids in small towns like mine. There's not much to do here. We make a lot of stuff and do a lot of stuff, obviously, with my kids, but as far as actually in town stuff, it's hard to find stuff for them to do.
You're exactly right. I mean, that's definitely an outlet. Actually, was my outlet growing up in Kinston, just playing sports, football and basketball. Again, I see my middle child, my daughter. She plays sports as well. So when it got stripped away with AAU and her track, the track season ended, at CMS when they closed the schools, she's kind of, antsy right now trying to get back into it because that's her outlet. But again, you got to have that outlet. Again, like I said, having sports, it tends to keep kids out of trouble and getting into things. So again, like I said, but we also want to make sure they're safe as well. So hopefully we are able to start back in the fall and do something with the kids. And if not, again, try to keep them active in some type of way.
No doubt about it. And hopefully I want to commend you for getting back into coaching and what you're doing for teaching. That's amazing. And especially there in Greenville, CMEPS is a great school. Certainly Pitt County School is a great school system. And I know Bubba, we're just proud of you. Where the fact that's why Bubba was Bubba's brainchild to do 50 Pirates in 50 days last year, and here we are this year. It's just amazing how many. One thing I've learned, Phoenix, is how many great players that have come through the system as far as East Carolina. This particular case, former football players, is amazing. Like the hundreds of thousands of players over the years.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, that bond that I have with my guys, we're gonna always have that bond. I mean, right now we're doing a lot of virtual Zoom and talking to each other, just talking about life. So I'm always gonna have that bond. Again, great guys have came through there. Like I said, that was some of my best years of my life being at East Carolina University. The friends that I made there was great. We still talk to this day. Even some of the guys that I won't close with, we still talk to. Even if anything comes up, we do a functioning or any type of gathering, we're normally there for one another. So again, I'm just proud that we did have the opportunity to meet each other, at East Carolina, and like I said, the friendship that we have today is still special.
Phoenix, before we let you go, I wanted to ask for you to tell our fans, obviously folks watching, and they will watch on our archives or listen to the podcast, how can they support you? I know that budgets are going to be, I hate to use that word. We hear about budgets in every athletics as far as college and high school, in this case, middle school. I know you guys, to ever use the term less is more is true with middle school sports. How can people support you? Those people that we have people in the Greenville area who love to come out and watch your games, or certainly support the program financially or support by coming out.
Yeah, I mean anything at this time, like you said, budget cuts, anything is helpful at that time. At this time, I wouldn't mind having fellow Pirates or the community come out and see me, coach these young guys up. That'd be a blessing as well. Just showing your face. I have open door policy. You can come talk to me. Again, I ain't looking for no monetary, but if you do decide to cut a check for CMS football or athletics, that'd be a blessing as well. So again, anything is needed. Again, I look forward to hopefully the season does start. Hopefully, look forward to coaching these guys, and hopefully look forward to seeing some of the folks in the community.
How can people follow you on social media, Phoenix?
I have a Facebook account, Phoenix Evans, Twitter account. Actually, you can find me Phoenix Evans every Twitter account, Instagram, and again, my email is phoenix773@gmail.com. So if you want to get in contact with me, you can.
All right, Phoenix, thanks for everything you're doing for the kids, and certainly CMEPs. Looking forward to, I hope that, first of all, I hope we can have football. We'll get there. But when we do have football, I hope you have a successful season, and love to have you back on very soon. Thanks for your time and to be a part of 50 Pirates in 50 days.
I appreciate it, Dave and Bubba. I had a great time.
All right. Thank you so much to Phoenix. I appreciate you guys listening and watching. It's 50 Pirates of 50 days right here on the Sports Objective. Go Pirates.